Third Eye Blind with Semi-Charmed Life. What a great, catchy song from the 90s. We're doing the 90s to the nows for the next 4 to 5 weeks. That's what we got left. Oh, there was a part 2 that goes... Here we go. Anyways, I'll show you that part too. That comes later on in the song. This request for Third Eye Blind comes from Montage 9119. Okay? You want to tune standard for this song? We'll start with the clean channel. If you just finished playing Slipknot, Slayer, Metallica, back the gain up substantially. We start on the distortion. It's going to go between distortion and clean. By the way, subscribe. I'm going to start saying that at the beginning, just in case. Be sure to subscribe. Alright, so it's G, D, and C add 9 with some variations, like you'll see. We're going to be going to a D sus, or D suspended is another name for it. So, 3, 2, open, open, 3, 3 with finger 2, 1, 3, and 4. That's our 4-finger G major chord. Okay, so 1E and a 2E. 16th notes. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. However you need to break it down, right? Dat, 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 dat. Make sure everything's clear. Okay. One thing you're going to want to make sure is your rests are solid. Don't have chords ringing out. We don't want that. So take the side of your palm here and just put it over all the strings. But try to land it to where that pick comes right down on top of the string again, to the basic spot that you're going to be strumming these chords. So the next one is D major. Now, if you've had guitar lessons before, you might have learned this from your guitar teacher. Sometimes when you have chords that share a note, it's not a bad idea to leave them down. In this case, we can use one of them. We can use the 3rd finger on 3B. But we're going to D major, so we need the 2E, and that's high E, and 1st finger on 2G. Okay, that's our D major chord. With your thumb, try to mute out this top string. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. When you do the 6th, which is an up strum, we're going to what's called a D suspended, which all you have to do is drop your pinky down. No sense in lifting these off, you know. It's more work, creates more time. It's not going to hurt nothing because, well, this one's got to be down anyways. But I'd leave the middle finger down. It may seem like, oh, it's 4 fingers, but I can only use 3. If it's already there and it's not hurting nothing, just leave it. So that's going to go like this. We have our mute. So from there, we can do the same concept again. The 3rd finger is the anchor here. Stay on the 3B, lift your pinky off, middle finger 3A, 1st finger 2D. With that middle, try to mute out underneath string 6 a little bit. You don't want that bleeding through when you're playing. And I was watching some live stuff. One guitar player is doing this. And the other one, which was the singer, was playing a regular C. But the one that seems a little more dominantly louder would be the C add 9. Okay, now on this, I want you to play this in arpeggio for a second. Strings 5 through 1. Make sure we hear all those because the slightest angle can end up muting out that open high E, and you want that in there. Okay, so on this one, it's a little trickier. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. And we got to put rests in between each of those. So let's, you have, let me slow that down. Don't hesitate getting this hand back down. You know, get it there quick. That's why you hear me talk about subgrouping all the time. That could be a subgroup just going 4 times with a rest. Make that your subgroup. And get used to it, alright? So it's a 4, and a 2. and then you start back over. So that third finger, like I said, that's our anchor. It doesn't ever have to leave. These two are close to where they need to be. Bring this up to 3E, this up to 2A. We're back to G major, drop the pinky back down underneath. So it's pretty cool. These are, you know, some of the most common chords on guitar ever, right here. So 6 times, 6 times, 4, 4, and 2. It does that. I think on the 4th one, I could be wrong, I could be thinking about another part, but on the 4th one you'll go. I think you'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Actually, I do think it's here. And that takes us into the verse, which is the basic concept here is the same, but the chords to me sound smaller. They sound slightly palm muted. Might even be trickier to do, but it will be trickier because there's also what's called fret hand muting in it. We got opens to consider. There's a lot of stuff going on here. Oops. Let me play that slow. The G isn't the full G, it's the high end of it. So 3E, 3B, open G, open D. But you could put this up here to serve as a mute for these if you want. Like I said, there's a little bit of palm muting in this. I hear some dampening, like, so you would go, same beat, but there's the fret hand mutes. You'd go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you want to kind of flatten these down to where it's, and I'm just hitting the last 4 strings or 3 strings. When you're doing a fret hand mute, you know, 3, 4 strings and something is fine, you know, unless it's really like a big sounding thing. It's more for the feel here. Because really, your strum, if you were just focused on this hand, is it's straight 16th notes. 1E and a 2E and a... So, that's what I'm saying. It's going to be probably a little tricky coordinating this with, more so this. You know, I don't think this will give you much trouble because these are simpler forms of what you already did in section 1. If you want, don't even palm mute yet and just work on the fret hand muting. It's one of those songs, man. You got muting coming from both sides. So we'll focus on the muting happening over here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, mute, mute. And that's a down up. You see what I'm doing with my fingers here. You can even turn your volume down because it's not in your face dynamic. It's got kind of a low EQ going on with it too. Then we go to our D. We do it the same way as before, transitioning to the D suspended. Try to just go for the last 3 strings here. That index can mute the D. Same concept, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the D sus, and then just lift the pressure off. Keep the form, right? You don't have to keep the form, but why not? It's easier just to lift the pressure off than to do all that. A mute is a mute. So, oops. And then the C add 9, we could do the same way as we were before. It's bigger, you know, it's the same way actually, but we're doing the fret hand mutes. So basically in between where we're muting, which is a rest by the way, we're now, let me rephrase that, where we're putting the rest in there on, you know, and doing this, we're going to fill this with down up on the mute. And then the C add 9, a little trickier, you'll go down, mute, mute, down, up, mute, mute, down, up, mute, mute. So, the mutes are in 2s, right? The beats are the same. Awesome technique to work on. Alright, the last part really quick is D, 2, 3, 2, open, open from the bottom up. We can mute the low E with the thumb. Make sure you're not pushing it down. Down, down, up. The up would be the C add 9 again, right? 3, 2, open, 3, open. So, up, and then up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So, 3 times. And then you'll go back to the D and go 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. So 2, 2, 1. Putting the rests in there. You don't have to do the pinky. Sometimes I'll double mute, but I don't want you to think, well, he's done explaining what he's doing there. You can go. I'm stopping it over here. Fret hand muting is not palm muting. They're 2 different concepts. So after you go, back here. And so cool. There you go. On the surface, you listen to the song. It obviously speaks for itself. It's a hit, man. It's very catchy. The song takes me back to the day. But you know, we're dealing with the basic 3 chords there with some variations coming in from the technique side of things, which I think is really cool, because if you're one of those players that's pretty comfortable on these chords, you can focus on what the techniques are going on, which is involving both hands, by the way, because when we're fret hand muting, we're utilizing those in between our chords. The rests on this side, the down ups on your strumming. So I think this will be a good lesson for you all. All right? Email rockinguitarlessons@hotmail.com if you're interested in private lessons on Skype for guitar or bass. Hit me up. My wife Jolene handles teaching vocals. 30 and 60-minute lessons per week or bi-weekly. For a full price breakdown and more details, check out my website, rockinguitarlessons.com. You can search this channel as well. You can read the description below. It's everywhere. You can't miss it. And you'll even see it in the edits here. But that's primarily what goes on during the Skype lessons, is fine-tuning songs. I feel like it's a good way. It's how I learned. And I've been teaching well over 2 decades now. Whew. No, it hasn't been that long. Yes, it has. Man, I'm old. I'm teaching 23 years. So I've found the methods that I think are the most, the quickest and beneficial. And you're going to learn stuff that you would learn, say, through, you know, going more old school and going through a book. But it's funner when you can approach it through songs, because that's what's got our attention to want to play in the first place, right? So, but I work on anything. You know, I have students, we break down scales and patterns within them to work on soloing and all the techniques and aspects of soloing and rhythm playing. So if you're interested, hit me up. CVT and CT lessons, custom video tablature or custom tablature. You can take lessons from me. They're not real time, but they are extremely detailed. You let me know what it is you want to do, what song or concept, and I do the work behind the scenes, handwrite the tabs, everything. They're extremely detailed. Scan them, send them to your email, and then the video gets uploaded to the channel, and that's a CVT lesson. CT is the same thing, just no video. All right, so you can find all that information at the places I mentioned earlier. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. I'm going to pound that into your head. Be sure to subscribe, share this stuff, keep your requests coming. You never know. I may pick yours next. I have over 3,000, well over 3,000 at this point, and I have no secret formula to who I pick. I just do it. So right now, if yours is from the 90s to now, you have a better chance of getting your lesson in. So keep them coming. Appreciate each and every one of you guys. Keep rocking, and yeah, we'll talk to you guys later.